I am your coolest daddy.
This is wrong for a number of reasons. I'm a little drunk. I thought I could get drunk.
He's no Wolverine. He's a cuddly grandpa. That's what whispers suggest Hugh Jackman might have grumbled behind closed doors, reportedly unleashing a torrent of very un-Logan-like language when the rumors of Pedro Pascal stepping into the adamantium claws began to swirl. Can you even picture it? The man who is Wolverine, the guy who spent 2 decades making us believe a mutant with metal claws was actually a sensitive soul, reportedly hearing about a new casting choice and perhaps needing a very stiff drink.
Jacqueline, I swear to you, when I said I was done, I really thought I was done.
But what exactly set the beast loose? And did it involve a certain cool expletive daddy quote that rubbed our favorite gruff Canadian mutant the wrong way? Because if the scuttlebutt is true, this isn't just a casting change. It's an absolute cage match between 2 very different interpretations of what it means to be a hero, or, dare we say, a man with really sharp fingernails.
I was on my way, I was just driving, and literally, just like a bolt of lightning, came this knowing deep in my gut that I wanted to do this film with Ryan, for Deadpool and Wolverine to come back together. And Jacqueline, I swear to you, when I said I was done, I really thought I was done. But in the back of my head, ever since I saw Deadpool 1, I was like, those 2 characters together, I knew it. I knew the fans wanted.
The internet, bless its meme-generating heart, nearly imploded when the news, or rather the whispers of Pascal's casting, started circulating. Now, Pedro's a great actor, right? He's got charm, he's got charisma, he's got that thing that makes everyone on social media call him their internet daddy. But Wolverine? The man who drinks whiskey straight from the bottle and occasionally disembowels bad guys before breakfast? The idea of internet daddy Wolverine seems to have rubbed some people, and one particularly ripped Australian, the wrong way. One could almost hear Hugh sighing. They want him to be what? A therapist with claws? What in the name of Weapon X is going on here? This isn't just about a new actor. It's about a complete philosophical shift in what Wolverine represents, from a gritty, untamed force of nature to, well, something that comes with a trigger warning and a safe space sticker. It's enough to make you wonder if the next X-Men movie will feature Wolverine leading group therapy sessions. Sources close to the production, the ones who probably wear noise-canceling headphones to avoid the emotional fallout, are saying Jackman was absolutely livid. This wasn't just a casual, oh, that's interesting kind of reaction. No, this was a full-blown, throw your protein shake at the wall kind of fury. One insider, who wishes to remain anonymous for fear of being turned into a human shish kebab, mentioned that Hugh might have muttered something about Pascal being too vanilla for Wolverine. Vanilla. Can you imagine Logan, the gruff, unyielding symbol of raw power, being described in terms of a dessert flavor? The very thought of it sends shivers down the spine. It's like replacing a roaring lion with a purring house cat, expecting the same level of intimidation. The audacity, some might say, is enough to make a Wolverine, well, snarl. What would Logan say if someone offered him a soy latte and a meditation cushion? Probably not much, right before he sliced it in half. For nearly 2 decades, Hugh Jackman was Wolverine. He transformed his body, his voice, his entire essence. He was the guy who made us believe a cigar-chomping, perpetually angry Canadian could also have a heart of gold, buried like 6 feet under layers of muscle and rage, but still there. Now, rumors say Disney wants to replace that visceral, animalistic portrayal with someone who's, well, charmingly vulnerable on social media. It's like replacing a pit bull with a golden retriever. Both are good dogs, don't get us wrong, but only one of them is going to tear through a room of bad guys without batting an eye. What do you think Logan would say about needing emotional vulnerability training? Probably just grunt and pop his claws. The transformation Jackman underwent wasn't just physical. It was soul, deep, immersing himself in the pain, the rage, and the surprising tenderness of a character who constantly battled his inner demons. To reduce that complex, nuanced portrayal to a mere casting change feels, to many, like a profound disservice, almost like ripping a priceless masterpiece off the wall and replacing it with a carefully curated Instagram filter. The word on the street is that Jackman actually confronted Disney executives about this whole situation. Whispers from the hallowed halls of Marvel Studios suggest a very tense meeting, filled with more awkward silences than a family dinner after someone mentions politics. Apparently, Jackman laid it all out, stating his commitment to the role wasn't about a paycheck, but about the character's legacy. Imagine the look on the executives' faces. They probably expected him to just nod and collect his residual checks. But no, this was Hugh Jackman, not some casual actor just clocking in for a 9 to 5. And the alleged response from Disney? Complete and utter silence, almost as if they were hoping he'd just go away. It's a familiar tactic, isn't it? The corporate shrug, the silent treatment. The hope that the problem, or in this case, the legendary actor, will simply evaporate into thin air. But Hugh Jackman isn't easily evaporated, not after surviving all those fictional battles. One has to wonder if they secretly hoped he'd just gracefully pass the torch to the internet daddy, perhaps with a heartfelt speech and a tearful embrace. Fat chance. One of the funniest and most telling moments in this whole saga, if the whispers are true, came when Jackman allegedly brought up Pedro Pascal's now infamous cool expletive daddy quote. You know the one. It's plastered all over TikTok. Now, envision Hugh Jackman, the man who once snarled, "Go expletive yourself," to an entire bar, hearing someone else's signature line being cool, expletive daddy. You can almost hear the record scratch in his head. The video suggests he might have retorted, "Wolverine is a cool expletive daddy." Is he going to offer therapy sessions to Magneto now? Because last I checked, Logan was more about dismembering than discussing feelings. The sheer mental image is enough to make you snort a little. It's a comedic goldmine, really. You can practically hear the collective groan from millions of fans who remember Wolverine as a brooding loner, not a viral sensation. What's next? Wolverine doing TikTok dances. The very thought makes the adamantium claws retract in sheer horror. This whole situation isn't just about a casting change. It's being seen by some as a clash of eras. On one side, you have Hugh Jackman, representing the raw, untamed, deeply scarred masculinity that Wolverine embodies. On the other, the whispers suggest Disney is pushing Pedro Pascal as the face of modern masculinity, emotionally available, algorithmically optimized, and, let's be honest, probably very good at Instagram thirst traps. One anonymous source, possibly a stunt double, who spent years getting kicked around by Jackman, mused that it's like trying to put a velvet glove on a razor blade. It just doesn't fit. And the audience, particularly the ones who grew up with Jackman's Wolverine, are noticing it's a fundamental misunderstanding of the character, some critics argue, to try and sand down the rough edges of Wolverine to make him more palatable for, well, for who exactly? The collective outrage online is palpable, a clear indication that audiences are not looking for a safe Wolverine, but rather the snarling, dangerous, deeply conflicted hero they grew up with. The internet's response has been, as expected, glorious. Social media exploded with memes, critiques, and an outpouring of support for Jackman. The hashtag #NotMyWolverine started trending faster than you can say snicked. People were genuinely upset. One popular commentary video perfectly summed up the sentiment, with the narrator humorously stating that the older you get, the less you should be saying, "I am your freaking daddy." It's a hilarious jab that resonates with anyone over 40 who's ever cringed at internet slang. The collective reaction speaks volumes. Audiences can spot manufactured persona from a mile away, and they're not shy about calling it out. It's almost like a widespread spontaneous comedy routine unfolding online, with fans taking turns roasting the very idea of a modern Wolverine. The sheer number of anti-Pascal Wolverine memes suggests that if Disney wanted to appeal to the broadest possible demographic, they might have missed the mark entirely with the core fan base. Adding fuel to the fire, industry insiders are now suggesting that Disney's decision-making process for this casting was less about artistic vision and more about spreadsheets and demographics. Leaked communications, if they exist, allegedly show internal emails discussing Pascal's casting, focusing heavily on social media metrics and political positioning, with barely a mention of character integrity. It's like they're trying to create a focus group approved superhero. We hear Disney executives might have been heard saying, "We need a Wolverine who won't upset anyone, who's safe for Sunday morning cartoons." Imagine Logan, the guy who's seen and done it all, being sanitized for mass consumption. It's almost enough to make you weep into your adamantium claws. This approach, some analysts point out, isn't about telling a good story. It's about minimizing risk and maximizing market penetration. It's a sad day when a character's brand safety becomes more important than their actual character. What happened to artistic integrity, you ask? Apparently, it got lost somewhere in the data analytics department. And the final, utterly jaw-dropping straw in this whole camel-breaking drama, if the rumors are to be believed, came when Jackman confronted Kevin Feige, the head honcho at Marvel Studios. Sources close to that very private, very intense meeting suggest Jackman looked Feige dead in the eye and delivered a line that will surely go down in Hollywood lore. "I built Wolverine from the ground up. You don't get to hand it over to someone who thinks it's a fashion role." Boom. Mic drop. Apparently, he then walked out, leaving a stunned Feige and a room full of suits in his wake. What a legend. That's a classic Logan move right there, a sharp, direct strike that cuts right to the bone. It perfectly encapsulates the profound personal investment Jackman had in the character, an investment that seemingly clashed with Disney's perceived corporate agenda. The silence from that meeting, according to whispers, was thick enough to cut with an adamantium claw. So, what does this mean for the future of Wolverine, and indeed for the Marvel Cinematic Universe? Jackman's silence is deafening, a deliberate act of protest against what he perceives as a profound disrespect to a character he poured his life into. He's reportedly refused to engage in any passing the torch ceremonies or public endorsements. This isn't just a professional disagreement, it's a deep personal wound. And in this ongoing drama, with whispers of further fallout and the potential for a very awkward press tour, one can only wonder, will Disney realize that some legacies are worth more than clicks and carefully curated social media personas? Or will they push forward with their algorithm-driven Wolverine, leaving fans to wonder where the real beast went? Because if the rumors are true, Hugh Jackman has effectively chosen to walk away with his dignity, leaving the cool freckin' daddy to figure out how to fill those very large, very metal boots. It's a gamble on Disney's part, a bet that the brand recognition of Wolverine is stronger than the dedication of the actor who made him iconic. The question is, are audiences ready to embrace a Wolverine who might, dare we say, offer to help you with your groceries and compliment your nail art, rather than just slicing through bad guys? The stage is set for a showdown, not just between actors, but between two very different visions of what makes a hero. What do you think will happen next in this wild saga?